What is good, YouTube? It's Atumre El Bay, and tonight we are talking about the truth of spiritual awakenings. Yeah, you see, it's a lot of things that people really don't talk about. You really have more than one. You actually have two spiritual awakenings, and there's phases in between them. We about to get into it right after this intro. Spin that. All right, y'all. So here's the thing. A lot of people are going through what you would call a spiritual awakening, but what a lot of people don't realize is that you actually are going to have multiple awakenings. Yeah. You see, there's like stages or phases of awakening before you graduate to the next level. Some people call them like symptoms of awakening, but you only have symptoms for illnesses and diseases. This isn't an illness or a disease. This is ascension. This is elevation. This is progression. And it's in no way, shape, or form negative. Now, the first thing that you start to notice is that everything that society makes it out to seem isn't really what it is. Everything that you notice, like for me, it started off with noticing the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill with the all-seeing eye. What? This is what actually got me on my spiritual journey. I wanted to know what this actually meant, right? And from there, it started taking me all the way to the Illuminati and the powers that be. But then I started looking into more of the occult aspect and the hidden knowledge behind these secret societies. And this is what led me to realizing that there's much more to the world than what meets the eye on the physicality perspective. As I started to continue to gain more knowledge and information, I gravitated towards this synchronistic perspective of the perception of this universe. And throughout this entire, conglomerate of existence, we've had several ancient civilizations, mostly from my ancestors of who I studied, because everyone else just copied off of the ancestors in some type of way. It doesn't matter if it's from Kemet or Mayan text or Aztec mythology. All of it is all pretty much saying the same thing, and that we're in a multi-dimensional realm in which the things that are ethereal have a direct impact and influence over what manifests as physical. And me starting to get into this, it started to put me towards astrology, towards tarot card readings, towards shamanism, and understanding the influences from the spiritual plane on the physical, all the way down to why I even manifested into this reality. But one of the most important things that starts to happen is that the veil of things that you once thought were real start to get lifted. And that's where things start to get a little strange, because your perspective is flipped on its head. The things that you thought were true are no longer true. The way you perceive others and the various things around you have started to change. The very same thing that you used to love and enjoy as a form of entertainment might now be a spiritual hindrance, because you realize that it's been weaponized. A lot of the things that are indulgence, we start to realize that they're being used against us to manipulate us. For one, being food, for example, with all the different poisons and chemicals that the FDA approves. And I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about what we consume on a social media level. It's all there to manipulate the subconscious mind to create a collective reality that doesn't produce spiritual advancement. And we're talking about specific groups and organizations that in their entire agenda is to keep us in these lower vibrational frequencies. The music industry being one of the very first ones that I discovered. Now, what you notice is that after you start to take in this knowledge and information, you start to realize, wow, there's certain levels of magic that is real, but on another level, it's really science that most people can't fathom, so they call it magic. That's what our ancients knew. And you being able to master the science of these energetic frequencies is key to you becoming the God of your universe, being the creator of your universe. I know a lot of people like to get kind of spooked out when you start saying you are God. You are literally a piece of fractal of the all that is manifested in a physical form to have a unique experience. But a lot of us don't take full advantage of what it is that we actually are, because we have been manipulated since birth by the very same individuals who came together to put this symbol on the back of the dollar bill. They've actually been using our ancient knowledge against us to control this reality on multiple levels, mentally, spiritually, and physically, which the spirit and the mind is the result. The physical is the result of the spirit and the mind. But then here's the next step. You start to realize that there are individuals around you, individuals that you're close to, individuals that have had a major influence on you that aren't quite getting the picture. So they're not doing things to elevate and change and grow within their lives. So you try to reach out to help them. And when you do that, you notice that their very inner demons, the very walls and the prisons of themselves that they've become accustomed to, that they've conformed to, they start to defend and protect, like as if their life is on the line. This is why they say, don't cast jewels among swine. The people that had the major influence on you, they're not exactly swine, but they're spiritual zombies, because they have no awareness of what is actually going on. They have no way of taking an omniscient perspective to begin to analyze what's actually going on in this realm of existence, let alone their own lives. So you start to try to drop seeds here and you start to drop seeds there, realizing that the higher you go in vibrational frequency, the more disconnected you actually become with the individuals. This is the beginning of the second awakening, when the very same individuals, usually your family, you might even be the black sheep of the family. Your family might think that you're the crazy one, or think that you're on some spooky stuff, because you're starting to understand the laws of the universe and the way that you enact that they could perceive as witchcraft in a negative way. When you start to set up an altar and get in communication with your ancestors, they start to tell you that that's evil. The very same thing that you realize is positive, they're going to then tell you that it is evil. This is the second spiritual awakening, and this is where the disconnect comes from. This is where the isolation phase starts to happen, to where you completely go within for a period of time. Some people it's a year or two. Some people it's a month or two. But everyone hits this phase coming out of their second awakening, when they realize that this is an individual journey. It's not a lonely journey, but this is where you realize that you're on this path first and foremost by yourself, and that there are others with similar paths that you can connect with. But after you get out of the isolation phase is made for the healing, because what comes along with knowledge is wisdom. In order for you to be wise, you have to be able to take that knowledge and change reality with it. Along with those changes in reality come a level of self-awareness that most people aren't prepared to step into, because it causes you to have a deep reflection on your own inner demons. It causes you to want to go within and start to transmute that energy. It causes you to want to change on a subconscious level, because you started to realize that everything around you in your physical life is the result of your energetic frequency on a spiritual level. And as you begin to shift and change, go into your cocoon like a caterpillar, people that you once were connected with will fall off. Your vibrational frequency is too high in order for them to be around you. Your aura is too powerful. Just your presence alone could spark some type of negative energy within an individual. And then there's light at the end of the tunnel, because you start to realize that there's duplicates of yourself. There's reflections of yourself. People with very similar experiences that you can actually connect with. The universe will start to mold and shift everything around the vibrational frequency that you are now resonating at. But if you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll do another video about it. But this has been the truth about your spiritual awakening. Don't forget to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe as well. And go ahead and add me on Facebook, Atumbre El Bay, and visit ashleysgrounded.com. If you'd like a private tarot card reading, past, present, future readings, I also do astrology readings. I'll do a full 12-house reading for you, breaking down every single planetary detail. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do a YouTube video so people have a greater understanding about what a birth and astrology chart really is, because it's very deep. It really explains the intricate details of the experiences that you're going to have in this life, as well as what you've experienced in the past and what you will be experiencing in the future. It's almost like a guide to your personal experience within this realm. So visit ashleysgrounded.com to book a tarot card reading or an astrology reading. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Talk to y'all later.